Hello 5th grade, it's time for art again, and this week I'm going to be showing you how to make a maze. This is the maze that I have made. Who knows what theme I have? Who recognizes a character? This guy maybe? The Minotaur? And if that's the Minotaur, then who's this? Who knows that story in Greek mythology? Who was it that went into the labyrinth and killed the Minotaur? It was Theseus, of course. But I don't think that there was any treasure in the labyrinth. I don't think there was a person tied up. I've just added those things. Yours doesn't have to be a Greek mythology maze like a labyrinth. You can have different things inside the maze. You can have a snake or a dragon or any kind of booby trap you want to, like a pit full of spikes or full of snakes, something like that. It's up to you how you design your maze. You don't have to have a way out exactly. Like it could be like you just have to get to the center of the maze. Some mazes are like that, aren't they? You just have to get into the center. You don't have to go from one end to the other. I wonder how many of you are trying to solve my maze as I'm speaking. Are you trying to trace your way through it? Trying to find out how to get to the end? Anyway, let's get started on how to make a maze like this. So the first thing to do is to plan out where the important locations are going to be on your maze. So where's the entrance going to be? Where's the exit going to be? Where are the booby traps or the treasures going to be? Of course, there are lots of different options, as I just talked about. But so your maze can be it can look completely different to mine, but the basic ideas are the same. So I want the entrance of my maze to be over here, up in this corner. So I'm just going to kind of mark a sort of circular shape just to keep that space free. Right, now I'm going to trace the path to either the exit of the maze or maybe it could be the treasure in the center of the maze. It kind of depends what you want your maze to be about. Now I'm going to make this line quite complicated. I don't want my maze to be too easy. But I don't want to make it too hard either. Okay, so that's the exit of the maze. Next thing to do is decide where you want some other things to be. So I want to have maybe like some kind of booby trap or a scary monster or something like that. Could be here, sort of wherever there's other spaces really. Could be something here. You could have something in this corner. I think that's probably enough. So I've got entrance, exit, and then 3 other things, whatever they may be. Okay, so now let's plan where we're going to join up with these other things. Like that, for example. Before I continue, let me talk about the amount of space. These lines that we're drawing are of course the pathways, and we need to put walls around all of these pathways. So you can't make them too close together or there won't be enough space for a wall in between. This is about as close as you want to get just here. Okay. Next, let's add some dead ends. So next we're going to add the walls, and I'm going to use a black marker for this. And I have this thick-ended black marker, the chisel tip. If you don't have one of these, you can use a regular black marker. You can use pencils or colours if you want to. You'll see why this is going to be the easiest option. What I want to do is leave those lines. I'm not going over the lines. I'm not going to simply go over the pencil lines, okay? That's the important thing to remember here. I'm going to go either side of them, and I want to leave the pencil lines visible, right? So haven't actually quite done that there, but as I go round, hopefully you'll see what I mean. So at this stage I want to say a couple of things. It's okay if it's not like super neat. I quite like that as a style of maze. I like the fact that it's got some kind of jaggedy edges, and that some paths are wider or some are thinner, and yeah, yours could be much neater. You could have like try and make it more regular than that. It's really up to you. Just one thing to say though is to be really careful you don't make the passageways so narrow that they close. I almost closed that one up, and that would be a bad mistake, because is that a necessary one? Oh, I can't remember now. No, that one's a dead end one, isn't it? So it wouldn't have been so bad, but if I'd have closed up accidentally the way out, that would be bad. Anyway, we're going to erase all of the pencil next. So there, with the pencil erased, well, almost all of it erased. I'm sure there's some other little bits here and there, but with the pencil erased, it neatens everything up at this stage. I'm seeing more and more that I missed now. Of course, the next thing to do is to decide what you're going to put in these different spaces. So there doesn't have to be a lot of colour, but just a little bit really helps those pictures stand out. And speaking of things standing out, do you see how I've made this pile of gold stand out with these lines and leaving a white space around it, making it look like it's shiny? Just realized that I didn't put any extra color down here on these guys. That's fine, that's enough. So that's the finished maze. I hope you guys like the project this week, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.